Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you our final pre-draft fantasy football running back rankings. We'll show you how to win your league by winning your draft. Let's get this fantasy football podcast started right now.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin, that is Kyle. Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it. We've been having so much fun for you guys here in the off season, coming up into the fantasy football real season as we get going here.
Yeah.
But we've been pumping out the content, everybody, and like I said, this is our final running back rankings for the pre-draft. So that doesn't mean we're not going to do any for the actual season. So stay with us, hang out with us a little bit.
Yeah.
But yesterday we dropped our running back 2 rankings, and today we're going to hit you with those running back 1s.
Oh, yeah.
So, what you got before we get right into it?
Big dogs, right? All right. So
let them eat.
Yeah, light them up. Here we go. So look, hey, hit that subscribe button. We got a lot of people watching who are not subscribed. That's awesome. We love it. Things have been ticking up here. It's fun, having a lot of fun, but we want you to hang around for the whole season. We want to help you win your league this year, guys. So make sure that you are paying attention and you're getting all that information that we've got because, we've helped a few people win last year. We're going to help you too. So make sure you subscribe down below, hit that bell for the notification. While you're there, why don't you hit that like button too? All right. So let's dive in headfirst into the shallow end, get started on the final run through of the running back 1 rankings. Here we go.
Yes,
running
sir.
back 12, Justin.
We got David Montgomery, 6th pick in the 3rd round, running back 16 off the board. We have him at 12 here. And one of the main reasons is, hello, everybody. My name is Heavy Workload. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
But
thanks for
David
attending
Montgomery,
my TED Talk.
and we're done. All right. That was fun. But David Montgomery handled 301 touches last year, and I really don't see a reason for that to decrease. All the buzz around camp is that he is quicker, harder to tackle than he ever has been, which is one of the things that at times during his rookie year, he kind of looked like he was running through mud. Towards the end of last year, though, he did not look like he was running through mud. So you know how a team feels about a player if they make him sit out for most of the preseason, and that's what happened this year. David Montgomery got 1 carry in the first preseason game, and they're like, you know what? We like what we see. Let's just go ahead and let him rest for the rest of the preseason. Let's not have another issue pop up, another injury that should not have happened. But the thing I look at as well that might hurt him a little bit is the Bears' offensive line. They're still going to struggle. I don't think they've done enough to help out when it comes to David Montgomery, but they did bring in Justin Fields as their number 1 draft pick in the football draft. I think that's going to help this offensive line because instead of always having to, block 5 people in front of you, maybe they only have to, block 4 with 5 people because Justin Fields can make that adjustment and do a lot of zone reads off of that. So I think with David Montgomery, I think at this position, it's an acceptable value. He has the ability of an RB2, in my opinion, but he's going to have the workload of a running back 1. And if Justin Fields is starting, I think this offense could be decent. I just don't think it will be with Andy Dalton. So it could be another slow start for David Montgomery with a strong finish.
Yeah. You know what he reminds me of is just Jamal Williams with a running back 1 workload.
Workload?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that, I think you're right.
That's
anybody who, any professional running back who's getting that many carries is going to be pretty solid. And if they're halfway decent, like he is, they're going to be doing a pretty good job, I think. So I like him at that spot. I think you're getting a heck of a value that way. So All right, here we go. Running back 11 for us is Austin Eckler. He's going 2nd pick, 2nd round on average, and he's running back 12 off of the board. Look, it's a new regime, so obviously, you got to question what's going to happen there. But I think that it's clear that they understand his value. They did not play him at all in the preseason, so they know they got to protect this guy, right? Look, we both like him this year. We think that he should be going in the back end of the 1st round in standard scoring, and I think we might jump him up some surprising level in half PPR, full PPR, and we'd be willing to make the argument for top 5. We're going at 5 probably in full PPR even. Look, you're getting a running back 1 at the top of the second round. That's phenomenal value. You get a great consolation prize if you're picking at the back end of the first round and you opt for a wide receiver. You can turn right around and grab Austin Eckler, who's going to likely finish, in my mind, as a running back 1. That's why he's being talked about today by us, right? Is that we both believe he's one of those guys that should be showing up in the first round and isn't. Every year, there's guys moving in and out of that top 12, right? Every single season. And it's always guys that people don't think are going to be moving out who do, and guys who are borderline or people were skeptical of and just couldn't see the change that's going to happen in the offense for them. This is one of those guys. We think he's going to have a changed offense. He's going to get more opportunity. He's going to be moving into that top end running back 1 conversation. So that's what we've got.
Eckler, man, does so much with the touches he gets.
Yes, he does.
He's not a guy that's going to be a David Montgomery type workload. That's not his game.
Doesn't need it.
But the guy he doesn't need it. Yep. He just gets yards so fast.
I say it all the time. He reminds me, he and Aaron Jones are phenomenal with very limited amount of opportunity, actually. And when they do get full opportunities every few games, man, they blow up big for you. So, yeah. All right, here we go. Running back 10.
Antonio Gibson, everybody. 5th pick in the second round, running back 11 off the board. He finished as a running back 14 last year, and that's pretty darn good for a player that barely played running back in college. So I think he's still learning the position for sure. He was just a rookie last year, 2nd year in the pros going in now, and he's going to be relied heavily as they want to control the game on the ground, because the Washington football team has a really good defense, and ways for them to win is on the ground and with a good defense. We do like the fact, though, that good old Fitzmagic is at the helm at quarterback now. So I feel like opposing teams are at least going to have to respect the downfield passing game in this offense because of what Fitzmagic can do with the arm. He just didn't have that last year. I mean, Alex Smith was a heck of a story. It was unbelievable what he did, but he couldn't push the ball down the field. So with Fitzpatrick coming into town now, I think that's going to change some of this offense and how he's not going to see as many 8-men in the box. I think this ADP will pay off tremendously if he is involved even more in the passing game. I think J.D. McKissic is still going to be involved, of course, in this offense. I don't think he's going to go anywhere, but I think they're going to rely more on Antonio Gibson's skill set as a wide receiver because of what he was able to do in college. And he is definitely one of my favorites going into this draft season. I think this is going to be another huge year. And I think you're talking about guys that are vaulting into that running back 1. I think this is one of the best ones to finish in the running back 1 who's being drafted outside. Well, running back 11. But, 5th pick in the second round.
Yeah.
I think it might be one of the last ones you can really say is going to give you some running back 1 numbers.
Yeah. I would put him and Clyde Edwards-Helaire as the last 2 probably you're going to find who have the potential to be running back 1s this year. You left out one point, man, a big point. Ron Rivera is this guy's coach. He's got a history of going with one guy and trying to get as many opportunities in the guy's hand as possible, and that would include the passing game work.
Absolutely.
And this guy, he could totally figure it out and get moving, man. I really see that too. So I like that a lot.
That's nuts for what he did by barely playing running back in college.
Oh, yeah.
I think they were surprised. That's for sure.
Yeah, a little bit, I would imagine, yeah. All right, we've got Saquon Barkley coming in at running back 9 for us. He's going off the board, 8th pick, first round on average. Running back 9 off of the board. Justin, I see that you tossed in a note here saying it's interesting that running back 9 is averaging 8th overall. I'm not entirely sure how that comes together, but it seems to. I think it's just because of the way they calculate the averages differently.
Yeah.
All right, so look, he's the king of the injury risk, right? People love to label players injury prone, and I don't usually like to do that just because, look, plenty of guys have been injured. Modern medicine can do amazing things. Look at Adrian Peterson, and look at the injury history that Dalvin Cook has had, and yet people are going to ignore that gleefully this year and draft him 2nd overall. So Saquon Barkley, it's a different story. So he's only played in 15 games over the last 2 seasons, his first 2 seasons, right? And so you have to admit it might be kind of true here that he is injury prone, right? To some extent. He's played 15 out of 32 possible games. So even if he stays healthy, he's been getting overdrafted because somebody in your league will take him with their 5th or 6th pick. And, they can't bring themselves to take that wide receiver instead. So they just decide that, hey, this is a big name, big back. He's done really well before in certain games. So I'll go ahead and grab him, take that shot. Let them do that. Let them make that mistake. And, the value falls to you then at other picks, right? You're going to pass on him unless you're at the very back of the first round or the top of the second round, and you're going to find him still there possibly. And that's the only time I would consider taking him in that territory, just because this offense has got some problems. I'm not going to just knock him because of the injury issues. The offense has just got problems. They're not going to be good this year.
It was atrocious to watch this last preseason game. I battled through like the first quarter just to watch it because they had like all their starters besides Saquon out there, and they just couldn't push the ball down the field.
No.
I mean, the time is coming up on good old Danny Dimes. It's more like Danny Pennies at this point. Sorry. Yeah. That was bad. And moving on.
It's really bad. All right, here we go.
I feel dirty. All right, we got for our 8th running back, we have Ezekiel Elliott going 6th pick in the first round, running back 6 off the board. Small sample size, everybody, but Zeke was running back 3 overall when Dak was healthy last year. It just happened to be there was just a few games, but he was super involved in the offense when Dak was on the field, and then his usage and efficiency decreased when Dak got hurt. What a shock. That's not a shock at all, everybody. This team goes as far as Dak goes. And I think Ezekiel Elliott, if Dak is healthy, is going to have a really good year. I'm going to give him that hard knocks boost for me. He looks quick he looks quick as ever. And I feel like he's determined to get back into that conversation as being one of the best running backs in the league. Also, the O-line should be much healthier. That's another thing that people keep forgetting is this O-line just a couple of years ago was labeled as one of the best ever. Then they had a surprise retirement. Travis Frederick, I believe was his name. And then they had the right tackle leave. So they've had a lot of mixing and matching going on. My mind is escaping who that left guard went over to the right tackle's position. But anyways, there's 2 things that can hold Zeke back, in my opinion, this year. It's the health of Dak that I've already talked about, but it's also that head coach, Mike McCarthy. And that's something where I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor to you if you want to talk a little bit about Mike McCarthy because of your Packers.
I don't.
I've talked to him at length. It's just, he's not a guy that usually gives running backs 20 plus carries a game. And that's where Ezekiel Elliott lives.
He never does. And I've made this point to people. He's literally never had a running back average 20 carries a game across the whole season. He's only had 3 seasons in which he was a head coach that he approached, I think 17 to 19 in that range. That was it. And he's been a head coach since like 05, 06, somewhere in that neighborhood. So should tell you everything you need to know. How long
was Dak out there? Was he like out there for 5 games? I think it was.
He was out there through the 5th game. He got injured in the 5th game, I believe.
Okay, so 3 of the 5 games that Dak was healthy, Zeke got 19 plus carries.
Yeah, but I still question whether or not.
I know.
I mean, did Mike McCarthy spend the offseason in a shack in the woods? That's the real
shanty.
Yeah, that's the real question. Yeah, that's the real question. Go off and watch all those videos that he didn't watch.
Well, he's a leader.
Yeah. All right, guys. Running back 7 for us is Aaron Jones. He's going 9th pick, first round, RB7 off the board, actually. So right at where we've got him. Look, this is the Rodney Danger of fantasy football, and he just can't get any respect. And when Mike McCarthy was the coach, the same could be said about him in real football, actually, right? He was just
free Aaron Jones.
Yeah, free Aaron Jones. Look, Jones has gone out and performed whenever he's been given the chance. I mean, he's just not let anybody down, really. He finished as RB3 in 2019, RB5 in 2020. Both of those are in standard scoring. And so, people are going to draft him with glee, right? Nope, they're pushing him back again. It's like it's just working in reverse. He's sliding back in performance level, but each year he gets drafted earlier and earlier. Last year he didn't even break into the first round, and here he is at the back end of the first round now. He's being faded slightly again because AJ Dillon has thighs, right? And so everybody's like, hey, let's try, let's not draft Aaron Jones.
Let's put some respect on his names for his thighs.
Yeah, Quadzilla and Quadfather. But hey, look, let's ignore Aaron Jones and his back-to-back top 5 performances just because, AJ Dillon. But the truth is that Jamal Williams was solid even though he was really slow and he stole a ton of carries. I don't see how AJ Dillon steals as many carries, especially with Kylan Hill breathing down his neck now. I don't see how he steals as many carries as Jamal Williams did. I really just don't. So here's what I think is going to happen here. I think that Jones gets 200 plus carries again this year, like the last 2 years, and he gets over 1,000 yards like the last 2 years. He was over 1,100 last year. He's going to get over 45 plus catches and targets, and he's going to get over 350 yards, double-digit touchdowns again, guys. So go ahead, draft the dude with confidence at that spot. It's not a bad thing. He's going to be a running back 1. You can safely bet on that. He's going to be a running back 1. Even when he was giving up 30 to 40% of his opportunities over the last 2 years, he was still a running back 1. So you can go get him.
High-end running back 1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was 3rd and 5th, and that's in standard scoring. It moves up a little bit in PPR. So yeah.
I like it, man.
Yep.
I don't have anything to add on that one, man.
Not much to add. Draft him. All right, running back 6.
This is maybe a little surprising for some people. Our running back 6 is Derrick Henry. He's going 3rd pick in the 1st round, running back 3 off the board. But we are lower than most on Derrick Henry. So for an in-depth look at how Derrick Henry may be one of the most overvalued running back in fantasy this year, definitely check out our overvalued running backs episode from a couple weeks ago. Kyle will throw it down in the description below. So the biggest thing is
the link up above, actually, probably.
Okay. I'm about to cough. Hold on. Sorry about that, everybody. Amazing content right there. So the biggest thing, right? It's so hard for a running back to maintain the kind of production that Derrick Henry has with getting as many touches as he has, especially from last year where he had 400 plus touches. So another thing that we look at is he lost his offensive coordinator from the last 2 years. Arthur Smith is now the head coach of the Falcons. That can't be overlooked, everybody. But as long as he gets 300 plus carries this season, his ADP will pay off. But if he drops below, he'll most likely finish outside of the top 8 running backs because of his lack of usage in the passing game. So if it's one of those things where if he does get hurt, which we don't say this player may get hurt or anything like that, but the biggest thing is we just look at the numbers when it comes to what he's done with the amount of work that he's had to do these last couple of years. It's bound to happen sooner rather than later. I would much rather draft any of the other players that we're going to talk about here, the top 5, than Derrick Henry. Yeah. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think definitely check out that overvalued episode because I really go in depth and break it down and demonstrate how history is just not on this guy's side. We called it with Zeke last year for the same reasons mostly. And he didn't break 400. He had like 397 carries, I think is what it was. But
whoa.
The magic number is 373. It's like 350 if you don't make the playoffs, but for any guy, 373 is the breaking point. And there's a bunch of different reasons that it can be. But man, I would not trust him this season. There's a couple different reasons that I've thought of even since then. He's got viable backups that he did not have last year. Darrynton Evans got hurt and they had nobody to go to. And so he just got everything. He's not going to get that this year.
They try to make Jeremy McNichols a guy again.
Yeah. I you know what? I can't believe it, but he's going as early. I have seen him go as early as 3rd off the board in PPR. And
in PPR?
In PPR, I cannot understand it. I've heard people I've had people ask me the question, should I take Kamara or should I take Derrick Henry at 3rd? And I'm like, I wouldn't take Derrick Henry in the 1st round in PPR. Like I can't justify it. I probably wouldn't. I would push him to the back of the 1st in standard scoring because I think he's going to break down. It's a real injury risk. And that's the thing. Once they go over 390, the odds of these guys getting hurt, 390 carries in a season, the odds of them getting hurt the next season are almost a certainty. And it's never a good injury. It's never. There's only one guy who's broken that, and that's been Herschel Walker. And that's it. That's it. Nobody else has done it and survived. So this guy, man, he's on path. He could be okay, but there's no way he gets the same carry level. And so if you're drafting him at 3rd overall, you're drafting him at his ceiling. You really are. You're drafting him at for his best performance. So that's why we've pushed him back to 6th. I think I've got him lower than you do even still. Yeah. So, yep. All right, here we go. Running back 5. We've got Jonathan Taylor. He's going 10th pick, 1st round, running back 8 off the board. We like him a lot better than a lot of you guys do, apparently. Some people are fading him because, I don't know, they're fading a potential top 3 running back this season in my mind. Is it because Marlon Mack is back? I don't know. Why would that be? Achilles injuries ruin running backs, right? I mean, the history is there. It's demonstrated. Is it Nyheim Hines? I don't know. He's only going to benefit, or he's only going to help JT's lethality, I think. I think that Jonathan Taylor is going to be awesome. Jonathan Taylor last year went 225 carries for 1,169 yards, 36 catches for 299 yards, and 12 total touchdowns. As a rookie. That's good for RB4, guys. And we're going to fade this dude to running back 8 suddenly? So why is that? The argument is that he faced subpar defenses in the second half of last year. Okay, I can agree with that. But what's changed? Why won't that still be the case? The majority of his schedule is still going to be the same subpar defenses over and over. And so why would that change? Why would that change my position as to what he's going to do? Also, he doesn't need defenses to be bad on the other side for him to prosper. He doesn't need that. Truth is, people are probably fading him a bit because Wentz has gone down. And more than that, Quentin Nelson had the same surgery as Wentz. And so that's probably what's driving his ADP down. Look, Reich has also said that they're going to spread the ball around, still this year. But he specifically said he expects Jonathan Taylor to get, quote, more of the bell cow role. So that tells me everything I need to know is that, yeah, losing Quentin Nelson, that's terrible. That's not great, right? It's not the whole season. And in addition to it not being the whole season, the drop off from him to the next guy up into the lineup, right, is not necessarily enough for me to fade Jonathan Taylor completely. It's just not. Yeah, you're losing a really, really awesome Pro Bowl level offensive lineman, but I don't see how that's enough of a difference for a guy who's a real playmaker like this. So yeah, I think he's in for an increase in opportunity, actually. I think 225 is a baseline level of opportunity for him. I could see him going north of 275, pushing up to 300 touches this year, potentially. Yeah. It's very possible. It's very possible. Marlon Mack, I don't think is going to pan out. I just don't. I don't see how he stays.
I hope it does a little bit for him too.
For him, yeah, but I just don't
get
see
another
it.
Contract somewhere. But no, I get what you're saying with Wentz and Quentin Nelson going down with that same kind of injury. They're actually supposed to be back this week, healthy enough to play full participation in practice, but they're both on the COVID list now. That is actually something we don't really talk about here, but it seems like both Wentz and Nelson are not vaccinated, as well as the center, Ryan Kelly, who's also on that list. Oh. So it's one of those things where that's something to keep an eye out, that your two best offensive linemen, could go on the reserve COVID list at any one point.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. But this guy is just so dang talented.
Yeah, he is.
8th pick or running back 8. Come on, people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're getting a top 6 back there. So
yeah,
that's
not
bad. All right, here we go. Running back 4.
We have Nick Chubb, 5th pick in the first round, running back 5 off the board. Jonathan Taylor and Nick Chubb, I think, are going to be kind of close to whenever I say this next thing, as Chubb may be one of the best pure runners in the NFL. What I mean is only he and Derrick Henry have amassed over 3,000 yards and 5+ yards per carry since Chubb came in the league in 2018. That's just silly numbers. I mean, I think his average was 5.3 last year, Kyle. 5.3. And he was playing on a knee that wasn't fully healthy. So, and this team, the Browns, he had a knee, Kyle. Just one knee, not the other, just one. But this team, the Browns, they want to run, and they're going to run often. That is their DNA. Nothing's going to change for them, as the Browns have probably the best run blocking offensive line in the NFL. So Chubb has, in my opinion, one of the best floors in fantasy football, but his upside is slightly capped because of the lack of usage in the passing game, as that's where Kareem Hunt lives. So he's still going to get those touches on third down for Kareem Hunt. I think that's the only thing in my mind that's really keeping him vaulting into the top 2 or 3 running backs in the league is that passing game work and the slight injury risk where he has been hurt a couple times. But I think a lot of that has to do with just how violent this guy runs.
Yeah. I think part of the cap is also that he gets game scripted out a little bit too often.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it where Kareem Hunt just is in there for the entire second half and Chubb doesn't make it onto the field really. It's just frustrating. So
it is, but I think this Browns team is going to be really good this year, and I don't know how many times it might work the other way.
Wait, did they trade Baker Mayfield?
Look at the numbers, man. He actually wasn't that bad when it comes to real football.
Yeah, it's just not a whole lot of upside, man. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of upside with him though.
No.
All right, here we go. Running back.
Was that a height joke?
Yeah, height joke. Yeah. All right, running back 3. We've got Alvin Kamara. All right, he's going 4th pick of the first round on average, running back 4 off of the board. And so, look, now that we know Jameis Winston is the QB to start this year, you can draft with clear conscience on Alvin Kamara in my mind. I think he's going to be awesome this year because once again have a QB who can actually push the ball down the field and can be considered a true threat to throw the ball deep. You can't cheat an extra guy into the box all the time anymore like they did last year with Drew Brees back there, right? So I think that Kamara's value goes up as a result of that. You've also got, people were, I think, pushing him down the board because they were thinking, well, where is the passing game going to go with Michael Thomas being out? And then Marquez Callaway is breaking out, and I still don't get it. Look, my brother-in-law drafted last weekend, and shout out to Tony there.
Shout out Tony.
Yeah, shout out Tony. For whatever reason, he managed to snag Callaway late. And this isn't a league of schmucks. I don't know how they didn't know this dude's around, right? Okay, so anyway, back to Kamara. Look for Kamara, in my mind, to provide elite running back one season for you without much of an issue. I think if you're at the front of the draft, you can take him. Don't overthink it. Just take Kamara.
Do it.
Yeah. So that's what I got on Kamara.
Not much to add on Kamara, but we did say Drew Brees. I don't know if you saw that Drew Brees got the Jason Witten treatment where all of a sudden he has hair again. So just look that up, everybody. Just Google that one. It's quite funny.
Creepy. Is it creepy?
Yeah, a little bit.
What is that? What is that?
Hopefully his hindsight's not going to be 50-50. Or he's going to pull a head out of his rabbit.
Yeah. All right, running back 2. Who we got?
All right, running back 2. Sorry, I cracked myself up. Dalvin Cook. He is going as the second person off of the board. When on the field, I believe Dalvin Cook and CMC are 1A and 1B in terms of best fantasy football running backs. His workload, Dalvin Cook's workload, is just incredible. He led the league last year in touches per game at a whopping 25.4 per game, Kyle. 25.
Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, he should be the number 1 pick, and he will be the number 1 pick in a lot of leagues. But, one of the reasons that's holding him back is he would be the number 1 pick if you could count on him for 16, now 17 games in a season. He's just going to miss a couple games. Everybody has come to terms with that fact, just the way he plays and how much he plays. He's going to miss a game or 2. But you take it because of how good this player is and how consistently he's going to put up elite weeks for you, which for elite for us, we say top 6 running back each week. And I think the majority of his games are elite. So if I had the second or third pick, you're just praying that Dalvin Cook is going to be there for you and you just gobble him up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think it's just auto pick, second pick. Like if you're the second pick, Dalvin Cook's still there, boom, take him. I think it's easy at the top. These top 2, 3 in my mind are easy picks right now.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, so here we go. Our running back one for the season. Surprise, 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 right? Christian McCaffrey.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson. He's going first pick overall, first running back off the board. It's a no-brainer, guys. If he hadn't been injured last year, he probably would have dropped an absolutely epic season, I think. The way that he was performing in the games that he was healthy, and even when he came back, it was pretty awesome. You got about maybe two more seasons in my mind until he starts to actually fade a little bit, but he could still pull off RB1 seasons probably, at half of the health that he is, that he could have this year for you. But until then, let's run the wheels off, right? Let's just absolutely hand the ball to this guy all the time. It's possible he doesn't finish as the RB1 if he stays healthy, but what you're drafting here at the top is not necessarily to get the guy who is the number one overall running back. You're drafting to get the guy who's the top bet to get the running back one overall, but you also want a guy who's extremely consistent and puts up elite numbers consistently, and this is the guy. It's just far and away, he is different. He's like Kelsey in the tight end group. McCaffrey is just different. His weekly numbers are usually insane, Justin, and hey, go grab this cheat code, Christian McCaffrey. That's just what it is. First pick in the draft. Grab him. Just your first pick. Grab him. Call it a successful round. Start planning your second pick.
Little siesta. You can take a little nap until your next pick.
Yeah. Probably.
But you're just gonna feel all warm and cozy knowing.
Yep.
You have CMC on your roster.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited. I think that we've got some really top end talent this year. If these guys can stay healthy, some really crazy things could happen this year in fantasy. Now,
for sure,
we've got an extra game this year, so we've warned about the number of carries becoming a problem, right? So what I think you're likely to see is that the true bell cow back is going to become a thing of the past to some extent that we've known. I don't imagine you're going to see guys getting north of 20 carries a game. Because how are you going to make it 17 games and then be able to play the next season doing that? That's just...
Or play in the playoffs.
Yeah. But think about it. 20 carries a game and you go 17 games, it's 340 carries. That's a lot of carries. And guess what? If you don't make the playoffs, the odds are you're going to have an injury the next year. It's just the way it works, and the numbers show that you're going to have a reduction of like 15% in total yards the next year. You're going to have a reduction in like 11% of fantasy output. Like all kinds of things start kicking in. So I think you're going to start seeing a little bit less of the bell cow roll. And so these guys who are at the top here, who are bell cow backs, this might be the last hurrah, dude. It could be. Yeah. Really could be. People are going to start getting hurt. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for our pre-draft rankings of our fantasy football running backs, right? Next time that we talk about running backs, it's going to be in the start-sit questions, waiver wire, that sort of stuff. Or if you have questions, feel free to go ahead and drop us a line. Raise your hand and always just say, yep. And we'll do that. We'll help you out. We'll answer your questions. We've been getting a lot of good questions. Oh, there it is. We'll
help you guys get goated. We'll help you guys get goated for fantasy football, everybody.
Yeah, you got to get that goat. Get that FFB goat. Hey, that shirt's over on our website if you want to check it out, guys. But look, we're here all season long. We break things down each week. We keep a schedule. We drop episodes at 7 a.m. and 7 a.m. Central Time. And it is, what is it? We got waivers. And we've got start sit questions, and we're also going to do pregame live streaming on Sunday mornings before the games start. So hit that subscribe button so you know when we go live, and you will not miss it. That way you can get your last minute start sit questions answered by us, as well as questions about how weather's going to start affecting people within about a month of the season. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll talk to you next time, guys. Bye.
See ya.
Mark, yeah.